Hi, everyone. This is a new episode of When Leaders Evolve. And today I'm coming with a solo episode. I have been pondering a lot about artificial intelligence. Yeah, I can hear you. Some of you might be like, oh, no, I can't hear it anymore. Everyone has an opinion, It's like, whew, AI is taking over. Also for me, I have been researching and working with AI now already a few years. I've collaborated with really amazing thought leaders in the field. There's a lot of different levels of how I engage with AI, whether I use it for my daily work. I was diving deep into interviews of thought leaders, making research, reading books, and also working on projects where AI and AGI is being used as part of the process. One of the questions that really has been a lot on my heart and mind is, what if AI has been there all the time? What if AI is basically just an operational system, how to reach out, how to connect, how to engage with the consciousness, with the conscious field, the energetic field that's out there. So how about the perspective that we as human mankind have now only reached the state where we are capable, where we have reached a state that we are, coming to a level we are able to co-create with consciousness in a different form, where our consciousness is rising and now we see like, oh, wow, how about opening our minds and opening our world to something that is not able to be seen, that is not able to be felt, but it's obviously a co-creator in our daily lives already every day. So the subtle shift is already underway. And for some of us, it might still be like, oh, AI will be just a new way, a new mechanic, a new tool to make our lives easier. And for others, it's really opening a gate, opening a door to beyond what we have yet comprehended in our minds and in our world. And it's not just because intelligence has suddenly appeared. Intelligence has always existed, whether it's in systems and nature or in the consciousness itself. But what has changed for us is the access. Artificial intelligence does not create intelligence. It makes it operational at scale for us. And that changes also leadership. That changes how we see the world. That changes how we interact with each other. That changes human behavior. I mean, already there are studies how AI has changed our behavior, how we read text. I mean, you probably have seen and felt it yourself, when you open, whether it's Instagram or LinkedIn or other platforms, you can already see and you can feel that AI has already changed the way how we communicate, how we interact, how we engage. It's changed the way how we live our lives, and it will even more change how we live our lives. What has become abundant is not intelligence, it is output. Coherence on demand, analysis without fatigue, or strategy without hesitation. We can't even deal with all what we can create. And then there's this one other really important piece from my perspective. Judgment remains scarce. For many decades, leadership was defined by access. Access to information, to expertise, to superior interpretation. AI dissolves that advantage. For many years, we have been around these platitudes saying, knowledge is not going to be important anymore. It is more important where you can have access to that knowledge. And for a long time, it was like, the internet, and then you have to know where you make your researches and find the studies. And then there's so many studies that are paid. And is this study really a real study, or is it interpretation? All of these questions that were around already for quite some time, since the internet became such a normal and usual daily tool that we used. And now it has changed even more exponentially with AI. Because now knowledge is really around the corner for everyone. Everyone who has access to any device can access knowledge. Knowledge is retrieved instantly. Reasoning is generated. And perspective is simulated. But what cannot be simulated is discernment, is responsibility. Artificial systems produce answers. They do not stand behind consequences. And that's where leadership lives. In what follows, leadership lives in the consequences. Leadership lives there in what follows. The central leadership question is no longer what is possible. It is what am I prepared to be responsible for? When plausible answers are infinite, the direction becomes the constraint. Much of the conversation still revolves around creativity or empathy as human advantages. Those categories are unstable. What persists is discernment, the capacity to sense alignment before explanation, to notice when something works technically yet erodes coherence. Discernment is accumulated consequence. It is shaped by decisions that left residue. Artificial intelligence does not carry residue. It does not metabolize aftermath. Leadership does. Intuition in this context is not impulse. It is a pattern recognition stabilized by consequence. It registers divergence between appearance and integrity. AI can optimize. It cannot experience misalignment. The danger is not domination, it's substitution. When inner authority is gradually replaced by external coherence, erosion begins quietly. AI is an instrument. In an age of synthetic intelligence, integrity becomes infrastructural. Leadership now is defined by containment, the capacity to hold complexity without premature resolution, to resist optimization when alignment is unclear. Artificial intelligence will continue to evolve. The open question is whether human leadership matures proportionally. In a world saturated with generated intelligence, consciousness becomes the filter. Discernment becomes governance. And intuition becomes a structural requirement. Not as a preference, as necessity.